Hi, Acton Academy. My name's Emily Langbauer, and this is my video describing a time when I had to step back and let my son Isaac struggle. One time that a time that I stepped back and struggle is when he has two other best friends at home, and they're all going to school together. And they love to play together on their recess, and they'd make up games. And it happened a couple of times, but one of the newer kids to his class wanted to play, and my son had previous experience with this young man at a previous school, and anyways, the conflict was that this boy wanted to come in and change the game that they were playing, and they didn't like that. They didn't want that, and their teacher encouraged them to try to work it out where they could all play together and make some compromises. And I guess they did that, but then they just felt like this child continually was wanting to control the game and change the game, and they were getting frustrated. And just this interaction with this one boy continued throughout the school year, and they were struggling with trying to work it through and how to overcome their frustration. I have witnessed this one child's behavior, and I knew how frustrated my son was and all the boys were, because this child just wouldn't communicate with them, they felt, and he just had a temper, and he wouldn't listen, and they just really got upset because they didn't feel like he was being a good friend to them. And I have witnessed this child in person screaming in my son's face, and screaming in other kids' face. And so it was extremely difficult for me to try to keep to be like level-headed about it, and because I have seen his behaviors, and I also know his family background, and I know that there has been emotional and physical abuse in this child's home. So it was really difficult for me to try to keep a unbiased opinion or unbiased encouragement to get the boys to work it out. And there's three boys, so you know how that triangle goes. And two of the boys, or I say one of the boys of my son's best friends, he was kind of the ringleader. And this whole conflict between this one boy and then my son and his three friends, it just continued to escalate, and other parents got involved. And I had encouraged Isaac to keep a neutral stance on it, because Isaac and I had explained to him about the young boy's mental capacity and where he struggled, and explained to Isaac about having mercy for just really hard circumstances and us. And it was really difficult for me because I knew a lot, and I was upset that, my son was being just kind of bullied, and just this kid just had a lot of rage, and it just went towards his schoolmates. And so it was hard for me as a parent, because no parent is okay when their kids are being pushed around and verbally abused by someone. So it was really difficult for me not to step in, but to let the boys figure it out. And as the issues progressed and teachers and parents got involved in the situation, I tried to stay as neutral as I could. And because I knew I had understanding of his past, I didn't, and I trusted the school that they would hold this child accountable, and that they would, and they did get some of the families together to resolve the conflict, because it was actually with more of one of Isaac's friends that was antagonizing this young man. So, it was issues on both sides. But one thing that was a result of this is one of my son's teachers came to him and asked Isaac what he saw. And Isaac told him that he can see how one of his friends instigates and egged that young man on, and how Isaac could see and to verbalize that this isn't all one child's fault. Like, there are some other instigators in this conflict, and it only makes this, this one child more upset. So I was really proud of Isaac for kind of standing back and keeping more of a neutral position. And I think if I would have gotten involved and let my frustration and even anger at times, if that Isaac were to see that, or if I did step in, I think that he wouldn't have taken a more of a neutral approach. And I'm really proud of Isaac for standing up and telling his teacher what he saw. And if I stepped in, I don't think that he would have gotten that opportunity to say what he saw. It also taught me that my son can resolve conflict without me. As much as we all, want to save our kids, there's that time where we just got to step back and trust our kids are going to figure it out. And in that conflict, Isaac did figure out where he stood, and he also stood out as a neutral party, which I'm proud of him for. I know it wasn't easy, and it's hard to stand out and be neutral when you are being verbally attacked by someone, and that can be it can be difficult. But I've always taught Isaac about being a good friend and what a good friend looks like, and how do we be a good friend. And Isaac really tried, because I believe he understood more of this child's struggles, that he was always trying to help this kid to see how he wasn't really being a good friend by the way that he talked to his friends, and that if he, could talk nicer to them, that, they would be more willing to receive him. And so I am glad I didn't get involved. Many times I wanted to, but I just wanted to stand back and see how it worked. And there was more conflict with the other parents and their kids with this child. And so I didn't feel like it was my place to step in, because Isaac wasn't as directly affected as the other kids were. But he also was not antagonizing this young man and I think making the situation worse than it could have been. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to play well with others when others aren't playing on like the degree that you play, or the character and how you treat one another, I guess. So I think it was a good experience. It reminds me that I did a good job, all the effort and the work that I have put into my son. He continues to surprise me when I actually step back and let him work things out. My struggle is that I want to help fix them, or fix whatever's going on, So I don't think any parent likes to see their kids struggle. But I also believe right now at his age that, turning almost 13, he needs to figure out and work through some things. And I understand that I need to step back, and I don't want to enable him either. So, yeah, thanks. Bye.